Gonna start going live a little early, guys, just to get everyone up to speed, see what's going down. I actually did my hair today. I never do that, but why not? I figured why not, you know? Yeah. But I want to start today with a video that got me into Bitcoin. The reason why I now am into Bitcoin. So for that reason, I figured why not begin, with this. Because yeah, there's just no reason not to begin with this. So the reason why I'm starting with this is because this is why I learned how to buy Bitcoin. And it wasn't like, clicking and buying Bitcoin. I changed my mind. You have to realize you're being brainwashed every day. You need to unbrainwash yourself, okay? People want you to hear things. Bitcoin, just checking the audio. Okay, watch this. I'm going to play this video. It's going to blow your mind. I don't think most people are just going to be like, what the? We're going to wait till 1 because that's when I said we're going to go live stream. But I'm just preparing you guys. Whoever clicked in early, who's ever watching right now, send a comment right now. Say what up. If you have a coin you want me to go over, let me know. Come on. Let's make a community out of this. Streaming every single day. This is my life. Crypto lifer. Yeah, so I'm so excited to spread this knowledge because it changed me forever. So, and look, the stuff I research, I don't know what you research, but look, how Tesla electricity can create wireless power. And this was done a long time ago. Tesla was lighting light bulbs through the ground in the 30s. This guy was insane. If you don't know who Nikola Tesla is, you should research. And it's the only reason why Elon Musk called his company Tesla. All right. Now, when I do begin this live stream at 1 on the dot in 2 minutes, we're gonna get into it. But when I do begin, one thing I want to address. I'm gonna try to. I was thinking of maybe live streaming this to Instagram as well, but it just doesn't work as well because you kind of need to see the screen and me at the same time. But it's kind of like a good podcast, so I got to turn this into a podcast as well. Yeah, hold on, maybe I'll go live on this. Maybe I'll go live on Instagram as well. Kind of like something like this. I have the whole setup. I just didn't think about it till the last second. I'll go live to Instagram. Why not? We'll hit up both social medias. Some people won't be on the YouTube. Some people want to be Instagram. All right. I think we're about to hit 1 o'clock. 1 more minute till we hit the stream. Super excited about today's stream, man. I like how I designed the show today. Really happy about how I designed the show. Now, if you want to follow along, type in the biggest scam in history of mankind, Hidden Secrets of Money, episode 4. And you can go to 1821. I suggest watching the whole video 10 times. Yeah, I know. You said that's 30-minute video times 10, that's 3 hours. Yes, guys. Or 300 minutes divided by 6, 5 hours. Forgive me. But what I do want you guys to understand, okay, is that these concepts are important. And you've been brainwashed to unthink them. And you need... Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. You're here with Crypto Lifer, Sam Price, the remote chief. And this is the Crypto Lifer channel, where crypto is life. If you came to my channel, then we're already doing the right thing. Today, what we do is we usually jump into the coins that I'm in. I talk about my portfolio for the first 5 to 10 minutes. Then we get into the news. We recirculate back to the portfolio to see if anything changed. The stream usually lasts about an hour. Sometimes I do go an hour and a half. I have no really time constraint on how long the stream goes. I just want to make sure I get the information out to the people that I feel is needed. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to start off is with the recap of this video. In this section, he's going to recap what he discussed with an amazing graph. And this is basically the beginning. Shout out to Mike Maloney. This is his copyrighted material. But I want to spread this with as many people as possible. I know he'd be proud of me for doing this. I'm going to press play, and let's just watch this together. I'm going to bounce out of the stream because I think you'll be able to see more if you don't see my face. But get ready. This is what made me buy Bitcoin. So if you guys are following me, if you're going to get into my channel, why don't you learn why I bought Bitcoin in the first place? Okay. So without further ado, let's put this to the full screen and let's press play.
Don't be alarmed if you don't quite comprehend the deception of this system at first glance. Very few people do. It is purposely complex. The economist John Maynard Keynes once wrote, "By this means, government may secretly and unobserved confiscate the wealth of the people, and not one man in a million will detect the theft." I believe that presented correctly, anyone can understand this system, regardless of how complex it is. So let's do a recap and break it down even more. The way the system works is that, step 1, the government creates glorified IOUs. These bonds increase our national debt and put the public on the hook to pay it back. Step 2, IOUs are swapped to create currency. The Treasury sells the bonds to the banks. The banks then turn around and sell our national debt at a profit to the Federal Reserve, which they probably own. The Federal Reserve then opens its checkbook that doesn't have a penny in it and buys those IOUs with IOUs that it writes, checks, on a checking account that has a zero balance. Then they give those checks to the banks and currency just springs into existence, and then the whole process repeats. This results in a buildup of bonds at the Federal Reserve and currency at the Treasury, which is really just a supply of numbers. The Treasury then deposits the numbers in the various branches of the government, and we get to step 3. The government spends the numbers on promises, public works, social programs, and war. Then the government employees, contractors, and soldiers deposit their pay into the banks, and we get to step 4, where the banks multiply the numbers by magically inventing more IOUs through fractional reserve lending, where they steal a portion of everyone's deposit and lend it out. That currency gets redeposited, and then a portion is stolen again, and the process repeats over and over, magnifying the currency supply exponentially. Then we work for some of those numbers, which brings us to step 5, where our numbers are taxed. We pay tax to the IRS, who then turns our numbers over to the Treasury, so the Treasury can pay the principal plus the interest on bonds that were purchased by the Federal Reserve with a check from nothing. Then we get to step 6, the debt ceiling delusion. The system is designed to require ever-increasing levels of debt and will eventually collapse under its own weight because politicians always kick the can down the road. They don't want it to collapse on their watch. And finally, step 7, the secret owners take their cut. The world's largest banks own the Federal Reserve. Those banks make a profit selling our national debt to the Fed. They make a profit when the Fed pays them interest on the reserves held at the Fed, and the Fed pays them a 6% dividend on their ownership of the Fed. This system is fundamentally evil. It funnels wealth from the working population to the government and the banking sector. It is the cause of the artificial booms and busts of modern economies, and it causes great disparity of wealth between the rich and the working class. And it is only possible because we no longer use real money, we use currency.
Stuff makes me cry, guys.
It is a
like
form
it
of
really,
enslavement.
really makes me sad.
Bond is the root word of bondage. Whenever a government issues a bond, it is a promise to make us pay tax in the future.
It took me a long time to come emotionally to terms with this.
Prosperity we all enjoyed in the last century. Nobody is asking our children if they want to work hard in the future to pay for the prosperity we're enjoying now. George Washington once wrote to James Madison, "No generation has the right to contract debts greater than can be paid off during the course of its own existence." By stealing prosperity from tomorrow so we can spend it today, we enslave ourselves and future generations. Now this all sounds pretty bad, but there is great hope, for you are the greatest threat to this false monetary system. This system relies on the public being ignorant of its workings. Please share this knowledge with everyone you know, because an informed public that fully understands the system can build a better future for generations to come. Selling our national debt.
All right, guys. I hope we're all on the same page now and we all get what's going on. But yeah, so I first learned this, like, understand it. That means you heard the information, right? The first part of you hear something and then you may not understand it. Well, that's a blessing because that means you heard something, Now you have to figure out how to understand the knowledge that you were given, okay? And that's the next step. So, and I could explain this in layman terms. I feel like he did a pretty good job. But you got to understand that the Federal Reserve is writing checks with a zero balance, okay? They're appropriating funds and they're buying IOUs with money that they don't have. So every time they buy an IOU from the Treasury, they're putting money into the circulation, okay? That's the first thing you have to understand. They're putting money into circulation. So if you had $1 and there was only $100 around, you'd have 1/100th of all the wealth, which would make your dollar worth, you know, if all those dollars are worth $1 and you had one, so you'd have 1/100th of the wealth, right? But if they were to add $1 billion out of nowhere, that dollar would not be worth as much if it was just 1/100th, right? It would be worth 1/100000th. So it will lose value as they keep printing it, you know? Go over the system. Fractional reserve lending is they can lend $10,000 to the next person who comes in, and all they have to do is hold your $1,000 as fractional reserve lending. That's the reserve, the fraction reserve that the bank will keep, you know? And sometimes they don't even need to hold 10%. Some laws, in certain instruments, they can hold less than 10%, guys. So, you know, some are a little more too. It depends on the asset. But just, you know, so enough with that. I know it's not part of the regular stream, but it's super interesting. And I really, I stand why I'm buying Bitcoin. Like, I'm not just shilling a Ponzi scheme at you. This is the Ponzi scheme. You're in a Ponzi scheme already, okay? I got to make that clear. Okay. All right, I've been looking at OneCoin. This is my little group here. Bitcoin's strong today. Really strong. It's holding this. See, it really wants to hold that 72.58 level that I put here. Boom. We bounced down. We bounced off 7,000. We came back up. This is the 4 hour, okay? And look, we broke above the 21-day moving average. We're breaking above the 10. These are bullish signs. Now here we see the 21 curving towards the 50, okay? When the 21 curves towards the 50, boom. Look what happens when we get near the 50, okay? It's down below it, moved, and then we went below it. But as you can see in a price action here, look, we hit the 50, begins kind of a parabolic move. So the 50-day on the 4 hours, really interesting to look at. Here's the 50 on the 30-minute, and Bitcoin's coming in, hitting it too there. Seeing a spike up. So wow, we went to 75989, and that must have been like just not too long ago. Wow. I missed that, guys, somehow. I mean, I went to Bitcoin moves that fast. Look, in the last hour, we went to 7591. Wow. So, I don't know. I'm feeling bullish, man. We had this is a double bottom here. Look, bottom. Very strange format. We either call these Bart patterns. It's one of the only things you can actually fit Bart Simpson's head into these patterns. Let me get off of that. You can fit Bart Simpson's head into these patterns. I'll show you them right here. See, it's Bart Simpson. Spike. This is an upside down Bart Simpson. So we had a Bart Simpson, and a Bart Simpson. Like, it was insane, man. Guys, man. But we have our higher lows. Higher low. Could we be on a breakout? I mean, we have a low, higher low, and yet another higher low. We need to create another higher low today on the daily. Okay? So here on the daily, we have our higher low. So we want to close again with another higher low would be great. If we get above this line, 7560, and hold support there. On the daily, we need to get above the 21-day moving average. But overall, I think Bitcoin's looking healthy. And, you know, I'm not saying 6,000 isn't in the cards. Like, you know, I'm always prepared because we don't know. But I also see, look what I see on the daily, guys. This is a double bottom, and a bottom. That could play out with a neckline. Kind of take it. They're not even perfectly, but they're not always. So look at my target here is at 82.79, 81.50. That short-term target, you know, that means a day, 2 days, maybe less, maybe by tonight. This could play out. Could be a whole candle for the rest of the day today. We'll see what happens. But this is a pattern that many people trade, and it does play out a lot of the time. About like 69% of the time, you're going to see this move happen. I see it happen even more than that in crypto. Like, it's almost like, oh, there's the double bottom. You know, a stock could go all the way down after that. Like, it's not like a guarantee to keep buying and holding long term. But what I am saying is that This pattern usually plays out. It completes the W. It gets to the neckline, and you get the rest here of the W line. So, yeah. So that's Bitcoin for the day. You could possibly put a buy in here, put a stop loss here at 72.18 beneath the support. If you want to get really, really bold, you can put your stop loss here at 79.77. Try to get this gain here. And you could use leverage if you like. I still have yet to use leverage. When I do, I will let you guys know. I thought I went live here on Instagram, and then the phone shut off, so I don't know what's going on. But Bitcoin's sitting at 74.30. Very good, very good. Ravencoin, man. Look at Ravencoin. These are daily candles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We were sitting at 297 5 days ago. Okay? We're now at 400. So 300 Satoshis brought you to 400 Satoshis. That's a 30% gain in 4 days. Okay, guys? You don't believe me? We can 33.72% gains. And there's my level of support line that I drew. We've been hanging on it for a while. Look, we hit it here, we hit it here, we hit it here. This trade was kind of an obvious trade. It's kind of, I wanted to get into it. I just, I was allocated in other things. But I saw it. And just sometimes I miss trades that I know are going to be good. I don't get every one of them. But I do talk about them. So look, we bounced here, we bounced here. We came close, we did wick below. But that's low liquidity. They're just controlling the market, manipulating. Then we bounced here. We bounced there again. So, I mean, this level here of 300 Satoshis is showing such strong support that at one point when you saw us break up, you make the buy and you put your stop loss light here, 290, 295. So you're in at 308, 295. 30 would be 10%. You're risking about 3 to 4% to get 30%. I mean, that's that's 10 to 1, right? 10 to 1 on your risk reward ratio. That's a trade you want to make. Now, what would happen? Is it going to keep going? There's a chance because look, it kind of did this really strange bottom pattern. And we want to get up to this, here we have a little bit of resistance on Raven. And then we have some here. And then again, we have here. I pull a fib on this. I think it got moved. Sometimes when I pull a fib on my phone, it gets moved. But yeah, so there it is. So we retraced all the way down, right? We made a move all the way up. Usually you retrace here in the 0.5618. We also retraced all the way down. We were in between a full 100% retracement and the 88s and an 88% retracement. So it's also a safe time to buy something when it's retraced 80%, especially in a short-term market. I mean, and you could see it held that support pretty strong. Other places it did go through, but we just see this line of support. I was saying bounce, bounce, bounce. I didn't know it was going to go up 30%, but I did see that the support looked pretty strong, Now Bitcoin seems to be making a little bit of a move here. 745. Look, it's heating up, dude. 60. Look at it moving fast here. I think we could get to 7,500 before the end of the stream. It's very possible. I'm also in Atom right now. And why am I in Atom? There's many reasons why, but one thing I don't like that I do see here on Atom is a double top. And it's just like that double bottom I just showed you. Okay. Take the head of the neckline, and usually it goes to the line, and then where the bottom of that M is, and then down even more, right? So that will put us at 160. I don't see that happening. We are on the daily. I know it's a pattern. They don't always play out. So we are in an uptrend. See this trend? So the trend is your friend until it's not. You don't want to play. So we're going up. We've been going up. We're in a really good place in the RSI. We're right in here in the middle in 46, which we have a lot of room to move. We got a MACD cross right here, which is a bullish sign. And also on the 4-hour, I can draw you a pattern. The patterns are good because they tell you something's about to happen, okay? It's actually like a breakout about to occur here. Look at this. I love finding things live on the stream with you guys. It's pretty interesting. Okay. You could almost even turn this into a falling wedge that had a breakdown. Makes me feel more kind of do something like this. Fell out of the falling wedge, came back in, fell out, fallen, and we broke out. So to me, this is kind of breaking out on the 4 hour, and we should get about this measured move here, which would put our target at $4.50. So you're going to get about a 10% move here, 10% measured move. 16 actually if you bought at the line, but if you buy right now, 10%. The stop loss below the trend line here in this area. Let me show you where you would put the stop loss in this rectangle here. And why? Even here below the trend line, there's two places to put the stop loss. Here, because honestly, if this breaks back down into the wedge, then that invalidates the breakout. So an invalidation and of a pattern that you're trying to play is great to get stopped out on, because then it didn't do what you wanted it to do, right? So it's like, it's a win-win in that situation. I mean, not a win because you didn't win. So you could put a stop loss here below this trend line at 337, but then you're risking a lot more. You know, that's almost a 10% loss. I don't like to risk that much, depending on your portfolio. But see, risk versus reward. If your portfolio is $10,000, you should not be risking more than $100 a trade. That's 1%. But that doesn't mean, so that means if you put $800 in on a trade, you could lose over 10%, right? You could lose about 12%. 12% is about $100. But if you put 2,500, right, then 5% is 125. So then you can only risk about 4%. See what I'm saying? So when I tell you percentages, like right now, so if you buy right now and you put your stop loss right down here, you're risking 4%, okay? 4%. Now I can risk, so what you do is you divide the risk, $100, by the percentage of the stop loss, okay? So here it would be 0.0392. So let me do that for you guys real quick. And this is how you come up with, your position size. So I want to risk $100, okay? And I want to put a stop loss for 4%. So I divide 100 times 0.04%. My position size can be $2,500. So you could put $2,500 right now on this buy. You could risk 4%, which will end up being 1% of your $10,000 portfolio. So does everyone understand that? So when I say I have a stop loss of 5% or 6% or 10%, and you're thinking, wow, well, he put $2,500, he's going to risk $250. No, it's not true. It's always going to be a $100 risk. The position size will change to change the risk. Okay. A person who explained this perfectly is Jacob Canfield. If you go to his YouTube channel, please check him out. He got me started. Like, without him, I probably wouldn't even be streaming right now. I would be streaming, but with my drones and my other stuff, I would not be streaming crypto lifer stuff. Like, I just, he's kind of mentored me. He's been helping me a lot. The dude is a really down to earth, good guy. I'm proud of his success and what he does for a living, and he inspires me every day to just keep pushing, keep making videos, keep going forward. He's very successful. He's been on like national TV, whatever. Enough about the guy, but he's an amazing person. Check out his content. It's really worth watching, checking out. Now, I'm also in Vechain right now, pretty heavy. I have two different positions, like $500 position here, around here, and another pretty heavy position around here. Why Vechain? What is it about Vechain? Well, there's some big news coming out for Vechain today. I also feel like on this Fibonacci level, it's bouncing off the trend line. And this is a guy I follow on the Moon 333. I believe he's Muslim because he always says like Allah Akbar, Atif Akbar. Or his name's Atif Akbar, which means none greater than God, his last name. But so this is a bat. What he's really playing here is a double top. See, I would call this a double top that's going to play out to the downside. He calls it a bat formation. It's just different trading. But look, he has the A, B, C, D. So it moves in these waves. It's similar to an Elliott. I believe that's an Elliott wave formation that he's drawing there. So he's saying the price action of Vechain US dollar is forming a bullish bat pattern, and it soon will be entered into potential reversal zone. The PRZ area can be used as a top point to complete the candlestick close below this area. So come down to 662 to 599, and then you'll break back up to 67 to 755. If you got 59 to 75, I mean 59 cents to 75 cents. That's how you look at it. I mean, this is Satoshi, but that's cents. That's a half a cent to 0.7 cents. What happens though is you really want to be in USDT pairs. The reason is when Bitcoin moves heavy, it's going to take these USDT pairs up with it. It may knock down Satoshi pairs like this Agrello Bitcoin here, 5. This is something I just bought recently. I'm trying to backtest an idea. But 3 times now, it's made some heavy gains. You know, did a bounce, took another bounce. And I'm seeing a similar scenario as what happened before. So, and it's the 50-day moving average kind of coming into play. I think there's a possibility that we may see this take a move. So I'm taking a shot on it at 550. Again, I am not a financial advisor. Please get yourself a professional advisor. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm from Boston. I don't know if you guys know State Street, but you can Google them. I think they hold like $1 trillion of assets. But they're one of the biggest asset holders, and their main headquarters is in Boston. It's like this really gaudy, like, I'll show you. Look. It's another reason, because I'm into crypto, I just know a lot about the financial state of the world and the state of the markets. I spend hours a day looking at the gold price, looking just many things. But if you look at State Street Corporation, I saw this building as a kid all the time. Whenever I went down, it's like a crown, you know. And there's their headquarters in Boston, Mass, right there on Lincoln Street. But they hold, I think, more. Look, their revenue is $11.9 billion last year. Their totally equity in assets, $244 billion total equity. I thought they really had $1 trillion though in assets at one point. Whatever. So we're getting into the news. I'm going to show you my portfolio. Like this, you're going to see all the coins that I'm holding. We're talking to them less about can you custody this, and more about how can we work together to make sure these changes aren't disruptive to our business model. So Jay Biancamano, State Street's Managing Director of Digital Product Development and Innovation. The firm will have a better idea what it will do with digital asset custody in 2020. He said at an event sponsored by the bank Thursday in New York. After custody, State Street is interested in looking at fund administration, private placements, issuance, and trading of digital assets, he said. Despite their lack of interest in a custody solution, the Boston-based bank's clients are continuing to invest more in the new asset class. I love hearing this, man. You're seeing institutions pour into Bitcoin, and now it's 2 years ago, it was like, you know, mouse talk. Like, it was only guys like me, oh, the institutions are buying OTC, and people like, oh. Now it's becoming mainstream news. They're letting people know they're moving in that way because they know the masses want to move in that way. And soon, always forget to shut off my Discord, man. I think Richard Hart's hex could be a scam too. I'd like to get into that. State Street is embracing digital assets as it retrenches for an effort to retrofit its plumbing using distributed ledger technology, a sign that Wall Street is moving away from the mid-decade mantra of blockchain, not Bitcoin. Earlier this year, the bank laid off more than 100 blockchain developers. The team's responsibilities were separate from that of Biancamano's team, however, which focuses on working with clients and third parties around digital asset and tokenization proofs of concept. Being able to provide custody and servicing around digital assets is different than building our entire back-end infrastructure and prioritizing our technology stack to support Hyperledger blockchain. You know, I don't know why they just don't do a deal with XRP. Get that on-demand liquidity going, you know. How XRP is being used to change blockchain gaming. This is huge, man. You know gaming is big. Anyone that gets their foot into gaming heavily, the masses are going to eat it up. I'm probably going to be playing VR a lot. I think VR is amazing. I do think, you know, you always have to balance your life. Like if you played a couple hours of VR, make sure you do a couple hours in nature. Make sure you get on a bike. You know, you want to just make sure. I think there are people who could be like playing games to the point where like all they do is take the VR headset off to eat some food, and like they're in there for days at a time. And I think we're kind of headed in that way, and it's sad because there's already guys who are gaming like that. They get those gaming chairs, they're like stuck to them. All right, the gaming sector in itself is a huge industry worth exploring, but with blockchain, it has the potential to grow even more. The gaming space has experienced a change in recent years, with virtual reality being introduced. Look outside of the current use cases of blockchain tech, like trading and creating assets. Gaming on the blockchain has been getting a bit of attention over the past few weeks. The gaming sector in itself is a huge industry worth exploring with blockchain. It has the potential to grow even more. The gaming space has experienced a big change in recent years, with advanced augmented reality and virtual reality being introduced into the world. One of Ripple's main subsidiaries, Xspring, has been able to tap into the multi-billion-dollar industry that is ripe for disruption with its partnership with Forte. Ripple looks like it wants to speed up the interoperability, security, and inter-asset liquidity. The free-to-play business model dominates the way games are run now. This model has grown the gaming industry more than any other business model in the last 10 years. Stack those cops, man, living in Queens. At the moment, the free-to-play business plan is what completely dominates the way games are made and run. Creating game economies with multi-sided participation, open markets, and increased transparency offer a potential solution to the challenge of complexity plaguing game developers and the result in stagnant economy design. And something I talk about is like a lot of people are investing a lot of money in one game, right? Patrick Gordon, hey man, great stream. Watching Fiat leak at the moment, and the transactions are nuts. Yo, thank you so much, Patrick, man. Really appreciate that. Getting a comment from someone new that I've never seen before makes my day, dude. Yo, let's hit Fiat leak real quick. Why not? Now that you got into it, you know I'm all over that Fiat leak. Fiat leak is awesome, guys. It shows you where the money is coming from and what's happening with Bitcoin. Let it start up in a second, and then you're going to see who's buying Bitcoin. A huge Bitcoin means it's a very large purchase, okay? So look, someone's making... I usually don't see these big Bs. I see little Bs, little Bs. I don't see big Bs like this. The big B means someone is making large purchases. Here we can see the purchases and on what exchange they're going on. And you can start to see the liquidity ramping up. And you can see it is the US dollar dominating this Bitcoin buy, the Wall Street bulls, institutions. If you don't know about Fiat leak, it's time you did. It's awesome now. Someone just figured out a way, you know, more people are using programming to visually explain and show. Dude, these huge, I'm telling you guys something right now. I never saw big Bitcoins like this. It was always just little ones firing off, you know. These huge Bitcoin buys. I mean, you won't see liquidity in assets like this. This is just insane. But thank you guys so much, Patrick Gordon. I really appreciate that for sure. And I'm not saying we could retest to go to 6K. It's not all good, you know. It's not all good. But we'll see what happens. This trade in at 550, it's not going my way so far. Spacechain sends blockchain to International Space Station. Blockchain goes to the International Space Station. Space infrastructure to boost blockchain security. Euro Space Agency awarded the Spacechain. Spacechain announced Thursday that its blockchain-based hardware wallet, Tech, is about to reach the International Space Station. The technology is on a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, which took off yesterday from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Dude, blockchain and space, dude. Like, see, people are saying, oh, why do you invest in blockchain? Bitcoin's going to zero. Isn't space the future? We all know that. Like, no one would argue that space isn't the future. So if blockchain is combining with space, like, they're not sending the US dollar up to the space station, right? I'm just, you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, that makes you really think about the US dollar as like a dusty old piece of technology. Like, it was technology. Remember that. There was a time when people had gold, and then they printed this fancy dollar with a receipt, and they said, you know, no one else can reprint this because we have all these special things on it that make it unique. So money was high technology at one point. You have to remember that. That dollar bill is technology, you know, and now it's old technology. It's gone, dude. I don't know what that's. It's that simple. Buy Bitcoin. It's new technology. Like, you can break things down simply for your brain. And it's harder to get brainwashed when you slow down and you just look at it for what it is. Like, let's get really calm right now. Bitcoin had 21 million coins. 18 million have been sent out to the network. 3 million need to be mined. 7 billion people. And you could say, oh, fine. 4 billion people, because we could take all the kids from like 14 and below, but maybe 12 and below. But a 12-year-old could still buy Bitcoin. So let's say 10 and below. And then take people from like 67 and up, but they still could. But some of them are a lot of see now, quiet. But that age range from like, you know, 50, or let's say even 20 years old to 59 years old, it's probably like 3 to 4 billion people. You know, even if you wanted to cut off the ends of people you don't think, like infants aren't buying Bitcoin, right? Let's get honest. The International Space Station, positioned in low Earth orbit, it represents an artificial satellite that can host several crew members. The program, which launched in 1998, is a joint effort between NASA, Russian Roscosmos, Japanese JAXA, European ESA, and Canadian CSA. The blockchain payload was launched on SpaceX Falcon 9, which deployed the SpaceX Dragon Cargo capsule into orbit. Soon after the launch, the Falcon 9 landed on SpaceX's drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean, while the cargo capsule is expected to reach the ISS this Sunday. Let's just watch this rocket explode.
2,
right?
1, 0.
So
Engines
cool,
ignition.
man.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Cargo Dragon, transporting critical research to enable living and working in Earth orbit and in deep space.
Critical research. He didn't mention blockchain on CBS. See, critical research. They're funny with their words, right? Isn't that nuts, dude? Oh wow, look at that video. Like, you can like see that. I didn't. The rocket launch. Look at rocket launch. These guys can't even write. The rocket launch is part of the CRS-19 commercial resupply service mission. Dragon is a reusable cargo spacecraft created by SpaceX. On a side note, the US-based private space transformation firm was founded by Elon Musk, who acts as the CEO and CTO. Dragon has been regularly launched into orbit by Falcon 9 rocket since 2010. And see, they reuse the rocket. See, the rocket doesn't fall off like it used to. Elon Musk has basically innovated the entire space industry, and making it more efficient. Vechain said that the ISS demonstration mission wouldn't be possible without the assistance of NanoRacks and its Space Act agreement with NASA. NanoRacks is a private company that helps third parties place their payload into space. Hey, you want to send something to space? But this is amazing, dude. The space chain will activate the payload on the ISS to demonstrate the receipt, authorization, and transmission of blockchain-based transactions. The operation will be carried out by creating multi-sig transactions which involve multiple signatures. All data will both be uplinked and downlinked directly through NanoRack's commercial platform. For those unfamiliar with communication going from the ground to the satellite, it's referred to uplink. When it's moving from satellite to ground, it's called downlink. Vechain said that the testing of the blockchain payload should be ready by early next year. This is awesome. Blockchain meshes with space. EOS to show its beta voice on Valentine's Day. EOS developer Block One says it will be ready to launch the beta version for its forthcoming voice social networking platform on February 14, 2020. Block One, the company behind EOS and EOS.io protocol, first made its social media intentions clear in June this year when it announced it will be launching Voice. The new social media network will make use of the EOS blockchain platform. Users of Voice platform will be able to reward or gift one another with Voice tokens per a Voice blog post. The company also claimed that tens of thousands of internet users have expressed their interest in trying out the beta when it makes the Valentine's Day debut next year. I'll try the beta out for sure. For sure. We need something different, man. Facebook is old, dude. Let's get some blockchain moved, social media. It'll be awesome. I am bullish on XRP, but at the moment, like in long term, I'm bullish XRP, Patrick. While you're here, let's just look at XRP. I had an inverse cup and handle, which doesn't. I'm not saying everything plays out, but it could play out. The only good sign we had, Patrick, here was we could have continued on this downtrend, and we didn't. Right? We said no. We said we will stop, and then we made a higher high. Okay, on the 4 hour, and then we made another higher low, and then we made another higher low. I'm not saying it's being resurrected, because we had it here too. We had this go here. Then we went sideways, you know. But overall, we need to break this high here. Like, I'm just looking at things small. Like, we need to break 23 cents, all right? Then we need to break 23.72. I mean, we got some resistance here all along the way. That 31 cent range is really gave us a lot of trouble and sent us spiraling down. Let's look for good signs, I guess. We could almost make it. Let's pull a fib on it for you, Patrick. A Fibonacci. So you take the low to the high. I've had like indigestion, weird. They don't hurt, but I'm getting like this bubble up. I don't know if you guys notice. It's happening like all the time. It's weird. I gotta fight through it. But so we retraced all the way through all the Fibonacci levels there. So I don't know, man. Like I can't. Like I see us going to 18 cents. Honestly, this is what I did recently with my measured move here. 18 cents if we break this trend line and this inverse cup and handle. Because if it was a cup and handle flip the other way, it would go up like that. So I hope that doesn't happen. If XRP can just hold this line here at support, but like I'm trying to see what support it has, and look, there's nothing, man. Like there's nothing. So technical analysis standpoint, it does not look good at all for XRP, but it does tend to move with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin can move high and get a big push up to the 8,000 range, we could see XRP getting back into the 23-24 cent range. I still think it's a good time to buy XRP. I think it's always a good time to buy XRP, Patrick. So a lot of trend stops in the last 2-year bear market. No, for sure. I totally agree with that. Definitely. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's get back into the news. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And again, guys, if you're watching my channel and you have a suggestion, you have a comment, get in there. I'll immediately address it. I'm getting better at watching my chat on my left side. I actually want to put the chat up here. I'm sure, I get there's a way I could, oh, you know what? I just got smart, guys. Check this out. I could duplicate. No, I don't think of these things. I could duplicate this. Could end up being a waste, though. To see. I want to see the chat only, though. So I could do this. Look at this, guys. Boom. I just threw the chat right in there now. I stack up every move because a long run I see 20. Yo, no, I guarantee 22 cents is a steal, 18 cents is a steal. If it goes to 10 cents, I still look at 22 cents as a steal. Some people would say, well, you're out of your mind. You just lost 50%. But if it goes down that low, I just don't think it's going to stay that low for that long. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't risk more than you can afford to lose. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, dude, now this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to always throw the chat up here. I can do it on my own. I don't need any other ways. Cool, man. Now I can see the chat. The only thing is, it's latent, right? Like the stream is latent. All right. Where were we here? Vechain Foundation launches a decentralized governance model called VVote. The Vechain Foundation has been working in the last month in order to improve the Vechain blockchain based on feedback from developers, the company, and enterprise partners. This time, the foundation decided to create a decentralized voting platform for the Vechain ecosystem called VVote. What do they mean? It's like, if you want to implement something, then we all VVote. So in itself creates its own trustless blockchain situation, which helps them make decisions, right? Pretty interesting. Okay. In a recent blog post, the Vechain Foundation announced that they are launching VVote, a decentralized voting platform created for the Vechain ecosystem. The new platform will support 2 main types of voting events: steering committee voting and all stakers voting. According to the post, the all stakers voting function to the platform will be available after the updated voting model is approved and incorporated in the governance charter. It is worth mentioning that the VVote platform will provide votes that are immutable, transparent, and decentralized for stakeholders. Patrick said, what do you think Bitcoin has to break in order to spark an alt market run like 2017 on December 17th? A lot of people are saying a lot of stuff like that. And when you get into talking about when altcoins will do and won't do certain things, depending on the movement of Bitcoin, everyone's saying we need to see an all-time high for Bitcoin in order to see an altcoin market. An altcoin bull market like we saw last time when, an alt, is it alt season, it's a good question, and it's one that I've heard like so many different opinions on. And for me to make an opinion on that, I have to like do a deep dive and like kind of sit with how I feel. I honestly think we just need to see Bitcoin go up to 10,000 and consolidate. And then we will see a lot of coins going up. You're talking right now, we're getting a lot of small cap action. See, like if you look at what I'm looking at here, I'm looking at small caps, guys. DLT, right? Engine Coin, Atom, the big boys like Monero, Cardano, they're not going to move until we do see a new all-time high with Bitcoin, okay? That is definitely something we have to pay attention to. That's my opinion too. There's been some people who are saying that the halving has already been priced in. Even one of my mentors, Jacob, says that. I don't agree with everything everyone else says, even people that have trained me. I have my own ideas, my own thoughts, and my own assumptions over what I think is going to happen. I'm sorry, I know I'm distracting from the news. You're just the only stream I can get feedback. No, dude, that's why my stream's amazing, dude. I am literally, like, I feel like my channel's different. Like, I'm a unique guy, and I do things differently than all the other streams that I see. You have XTC, XRP, and TRX. It's not a bad bag to hold. Let's just look at TRX for you. My point. Don't say sorry about the news. We can get into the news. My point is to cater to my subscribers. Like, I'm here for you guys. And if you ask something, that means someone else is probably curious about it too. Let's just track TRX, and you can learn how I go about it. Okay. The first thing I do is I look at it on like the 4-hour time frame, and I start finding support and resistance by hitting Alt H on TradingView and adding a line wherever I see a point that we hit and we couldn't make it through. So you can see, like, here we obviously had some heavy resistance. Here we had resistance. Here we see heavy resistance. Then we see some support here, and then you got to kind of zoom in a little more. We see some support here. We bounce right off that line. We see strong support here. And look, we're sitting on some strong support right now, actually showing really strong support. We see some here. We see some support right there. And we see support right there and right there. And you can see that's a line I bounce. That's a line I bounce. A bounce, a bounce. Very simple. I make it look simpler. A lot of people see all this charting and they're going to lose money. It's not going to happen. A really good sign right now that I'm seeing, okay? This is actually a buy that I've been learning about. You actually thank you for asking me this, because now I find, see, this is interesting. Check this out, guys. I think we just found ourselves a double bottom, okay? Now, it could keep going down, We don't know. It has the potential for this. Double bottom goes here, and then you take the measured move, okay? You take this measured move here from the top, we call it like the head, to this bounce line of support. It usually completes the W of the head and then goes up a little more. So target for that is sitting right here at this resistance line. And then we're going to see how much we would gain from this move. A 19% gain, okay? Enter Tron at 196. Stop loss below the next line of support right here, 175, okay? So if you bought in, I'm just going to show you how much you're risking. Stop loss, maybe below that wick if you want to be crazy. That's 15% stop. I don't like to risk that much. If I did like to risk that much, then again, show you guys. I go back to my calculator. I want to risk $100, okay? My stop loss is going to be, I'm going to risk $100. My stop loss is going to be 15%, okay? My position can only be $600, okay? 66666, creepy. If I wanted to take that trade and put my stop loss this low, okay? With my $10,000 portfolio, I would only want to risk $100 per trade. So if I made this trade, I would only put $666 in it, or I would put way more money in it, but I would raise my stop loss. Say I wanted to put a 4.5% stop loss, okay? So I want to risk $100. I want to divide it by 0.045, and that gives me a position of $2,222. So if you want to be a big boy, it doesn't excite you to put 600, and you want to put 2,000 in there, by all means. Now, if you have $100,000 and 1% of your portfolio, right, is $1,000, then okay. Now you're talking something different. See where you go with that. Now you're using your 1,000 as your beginning point. So I do see short-term move for Tron because I do see these double bottoms play out a lot. We have a MACD cross coming, and we were low on the RSI, which says we were oversold. This actually has confluence. We have a pattern I like to trade. We have some support line here. We have a MACD cross, and we have an RSI that's coming out from a very low period. We also have the higher high on the RSI, which I've seen. Like, look, here's a higher high, a low, and then the higher high, and then boom, we get a big move. See, a big move from there. So here we have our low, a little bit of a higher high down to the low. That kind of was a double top that played out too. See, top, top, which is just like a double bottom and a double top are the same thing. They're just inverse of each other. But yeah, Patrick, if that helps you out, that's TRX for me right now. Down. Are we looking at any downward pressure? Let's pull a fib on it. We'll see what we get. So we did bounce off the 0.5 too with that double bottom. I mean, that adds to more confluence. So now we have a fib on the 0.5. We have a double bottom. We have support and resistance that we've already identified. We have a MACD. If you don't believe me too, I like to backtest this stuff just to prove it to you guys. You can see it. But we're really low. When's the last time we got that low? Like right here. We're really low and we turn up. Look at this. What's the measured move there? That was a 40% gain right there. And remember, TRX doesn't have to move that much. And I'm looking at the Bitcoin, 197 Satoshis. And it's sitting zero, just doing nothing. So interesting. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's a trade I would take. I'm not taking it right now. I think I'm overly risked in Bitcoin pairs. So it's not a trade that I want to take. Checking back on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's almost in a similar pattern that TRX is in. You notice that? Pretty interesting. But not saying there's really anything to say about that, but it's just interesting. Okay. The Vechain Foundation announces VVote. Vechain Foundation announced that they are launching VVote, a decentralized voting platform created for Vechain ecosystem. The new platform will support two main types of voting events: steering committee voting and all stakers voting. According to the vote, all stakers voting function of the platform will be available after updated voting model is approved and incorporated into the governance charter. So that means if I own it and I stake it, I can vote on what they're going to do with movement. It actually plays more like the people's voice, right? Like we're all connected, so why don't we have a say? Like the Federal Reserve, the fact that we can't go and vote and talk about it, it runs our monetary system. It's our whole life. Why can't we have a say? Why is it a private entity that makes us pay it for us to live? It's not right, man. Vechain expands in the market. The Vechain Foundation is one of the most respected entities in the cryptocurrency market, considering it's working in order to offer solutions to companies from all over the world. Use the Bitcoin reported a few months ago that Vechain started collaborating with Walmart in China after a $25 million buyback plan the company decided to follow. With the agreement with Walmart China, it will be possible for Vechain to use its Vechain Thor blockchain network to power the Walmart China blockchain traceability platform dubbed WCBTP. Some of the organizations involved in this agreement include Inner Mongolia, Kirchen, and the China Chain Store and Franchise Association. Currently, Vechain is being traded at the 26th largest cryptocurrency in the market, with a valuation at $369 million. Each Vechain can be purchased for 0.0006657. Now, Vechain was kind of moving when I looked at it last. 6,800. All right. Bitcoin bull is set to charge ahead. I read a lot of this stuff, but I just like to see what they have to say. Way before when the falling wedge that we now see Bitcoin chart was a thing, we discussed in one of our video analysis from last month that people are going to gradually start talking about it and will become common sight to see traders posting about it. It has finally happened, and even though some think the falling wedge has yet to be broken, we believe it has already been broken and tested as support. The price is now ready to rally higher soon as it breaks out of the symmetrical triangle. This triangle now is just a few hours left before which it will have to make a decision to break either to the upside or to the downside. Oof, it's getting close, guys. This guy, I don't like this guy. I shouldn't say that, but I'm just going to say it out loud. I see him like 2 weeks ago. His last thing was Bitcoin will go to $3,000. Now he said it's set to charge ahead. So he'll write anything at any given day just to get some views. I'm not a fan of you, Vechain, and I'm going to let everyone know. Okay? Should I tweet him? I don't want to be like, no, I don't hate on people, but I do call people out that are flip-flopping. Like, one week he said one thing, next thing he says the next thing. He'll write anything for a review, in my opinion. Europe refuses to accept private digital currencies. See, the privacy coin war is going to become the war. It's not even going to be a blockchain war, a Bitcoin war. It's going to be a privacy coin war, man. You know, if we have privacy coins and you can't look into my financials, then you can't get my tax money from me. And that's going to create a whole Pandora's box. Almost every finance minister in Europe Union agrees that the private digital currencies are not to be allowed within the region. All of the regulatory and financial security issues they pose do not outweigh the benefits they may bring to the local public. Oh, so they're going to tell us what we want. No. You guys don't need to have your financial privacy. That's not important. Too many people could be laundering money and doing shady things, so it's not important that we take care of your financial security. The most likely target for such a comment from the finance is likely to be Facebook's Libra and pretty much any other tech company that is hoping to become a bank or financial entity in the future. Libra has always been a topic of discussion in the EU for the last couple months, but the debate has cooled down as it started to switch to the Chinese CBDC, the Chinese decentralized currency. In the meantime, though, there have been new projects being drafted all over Europe and Asia where entrepreneurs, as well as existing companies, decide to release their personal digital currencies as utility tokens for their customers to use. Even if the coins are not meant to have an exchange rate whatsoever, they are still falling with the category that requires governance. What other reasons for the argument? It's also likely that finance ministers of Europe have agreed that China is becoming a larger threat every single day, considering the new central bank digital currency that the Chinese Communist Party is developing as we speak. It's likely that the European private companies would switch immediately. And why wouldn't they? It would be faster, cheaper to use the digital yuan with while euros, even within the union, take at least a couple days to be processed, thus slowing down the internal as well as the international trade opportunities. No, that's what XRP is all about, releasing $20 trillion into the market. XRP will create liquidity beyond liquidity. It could actually save us from a financial collapse. A lot of people don't understand this concept, but it's really true, and there's a reason why I'm into XRP, and it goes back to why I showed you this, okay? And also, even if this was working properly, the money doesn't change hands fast enough. The SWIFT system takes days, 3 days, international. It's taking too long for big companies to make large transactions. Once we switch to XRP, the transaction will be instantaneous. The money won't be held for 3 days. It will release $20 trillion of liquidity into the world market. It's that simple, guys. I mean, makes perfect sense to me. Everything you need to know about Cardano's Shelly incentivized testnet. With just days left until the incentivized testnet for Shelly is finally released, Cardano, I love Cardano, guys. I got bags. Cardano I would suggest you to buy Cardano any given day of the week and hold it for a couple years. Thank me later. Charles Hoskinson is someone you want to put your money into. He created Ethereum. Ethereum's amazing, second biggest cryptocurrency in the world. So Cardano issued a detailed explanation of the incentive model employed in the testnet. While the model, or third actually, XRP, sorry guys. While the model introduced to the testnet isn't the final one, the company published details about the rewards users can expect in the following weeks. Testing out game theory with incentives model. Last week's successful balance check meant that the incentive testnet for Shelly era of the Cardano network is almost ready to go. The balance check has been one of the biggest developments the company has seen in the past few months, as both the company and the Cardano community report that it was an overwhelming success. And now, with just days left before the testnet officially launches, Cardano follows up on its promise and released detailed information about the testnet and the complex incentive model behind it. In a lengthy blog post on December 5th, the company said that one of the key goals for the incentivized testnet is to test the assumptions made in the Ouroboros incentive white paper, the company's complex game theory protocol. When explaining why they implemented game theory into its incentive model, the company said, one of the core principles of game theory is that an ideal system is one where a selfish participant acting in their own interest is also by design acting in the best interest of the system. To ensure fair implementation of game theory, The company employs its Ouroboros mechanism. The set of instructions specify how and when rewards are paid out and allows network participants to act in their own self-interest while maintaining the health of the network. Testnet's participants will try out the incentive model. The game theory will be the only thing put to test in the incentivized testnet, Cardano said. The company will also test out the technology behind Cardano blockchain in order to ensure there is a secure and stable baseline for future rewards calculations. According to the company, the first versions of the incentivized testnet will only have a limited number of factors included in the rewards calculation. The ranking will first be based solely on a stake pool's performance, but will transition to a desirable based ranking as the testnet progresses. Cardano said that the rewards calculator is currently in the works and should be released soon, enabling users to get more accurate predictions of their returns. But it also brings up a DeFi, and Cardano soon will be giving, you can stake Cardano now for 6 to 7% a year. That's more than any CD out there, Bisphere's central bank may lose relevance to private cryptos. For Augustin Carstens, head of the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, central banks cannot concede their roles as gatekeepers of the global financial system to private cryptos. Meanwhile, authorities in the U.S. say no plan exists to create a digital U.S. dollar, despite reports of some major nations looking to float their own sovereign digital currencies. Private cryptos should replace banks. In a speech delivered in Princeton University, Carstens argued that private cryptos shouldn't replace central banks. The virtual currency projects to gleaming skyscrapers. He likened virtual currency projects to gleaming skyscrapers while calling central banks the providers of trust in the global financial system. Honestly, I don't trust any bank, man. I'm sorry. You guys have been horrible with money. You have been greedy. You have used any way you can to extrapolate funds from the common person. I'm sickened by the bankers. I don't think one of them has a soul, While the commentators like Carsten cling to the primacy of mainstream finance, a system that has allowed 1.7 billion adults remain unbanked, Bitcoin continues to foster greater financial inclusion. Yeah, so they're saying, we don't want privacy coins to replace these other coins and our stronghold basically on the financial economy, but you've left a third of the world's population to be unbanked because you think they're not worth it. But we could give those people a digital wallet really fast, and they could start sending money, buying and selling, and being part of the world economy. That's what Cardano is going after. Cardano is doing something. It's going into third world countries. It's finding out where and who needs Cardano the most. Charles Hopkins is not even, he doesn't even, if Cardano goes up, he'll only make money if he owns Cardano. He's not like the CEO of a company getting paid millions of dollars. Crypto isn't even set up the same way. These guys need to realize that people are onto them and we know what they're up to. And consciousness is spreading faster than you realize. Consciousness, cryptocurrency, they go hand in hand. The more you become conscious of your world, the more you will easily buy Bitcoin. And I'm not trying to put you guys down if you're not buying Bitcoin. I'm not saying that. But I am saying is hopefully my channel makes you more conscious. My channel isn't just about cryptocurrency. It's about changing the way you think about your world. I'm trying to take you through the journey that I went through. If I could convert 100 people in a month or 100 people a year, then next year 200, 300. Eventually I'll have an army of guys that know that the Federal Reserve prints your money, that gold is a good asset, and that Bitcoin is the hardest money on earth. However, Carson's remarks contain a note of urgency missing from his comments earlier this year when he opined there were no urgent need for central banks to create sovereign digital currency. However, at the time, Libra hadn't published its white paper. Central banks have to control the digital currency narrative. We have a responsibility to be at the cutting edge of the debate. There's really no choice but to do so, as otherwise events will overtake us. You know what's funny about that? It's kind of like the snake biting its tail. 10 years ago, when Charles Hoskinson was developing Ethereum and Vitalik Buterin and all those guys were getting in, and these people, like the BIS, were still learning how to basically take advantage of all the small people in the world and take all their money. They were focused on corrupt behavior. Now, the people who were making digital currencies were focused on freeing the unbanked and helping poor people and extrapolating more wealth from the world economy. And what I mean by extrapolate, by creating more wealth, by creating faster transactions. These guys, the fact that they weren't doing that then means they will get overtaken. Like, it's over, guys. The smartest people are 10 years ahead of you. How could you beat someone who's got more IQ than you, and he's had 10 years longer to build what he's building? I think they're done for. I'm going to make that call. Like, he's noticing it. It's like his last saying. And look, he's not too healthy of a guy, right? Like, he may not even make it to Bitcoin, to the end of my stream, man. Like, I shouldn't say, I don't wish ill will on anyone, but do not let yourself get that fat. I don't care what the condition is. Figure it out, man. Like, Jesus. That's not good. It's not healthy. And if you are a little overweight, I'm sorry. I can help you with that a little bit too. Eating right is important. And yeah, I have to make a new channel about that. But I even talk about how eating right, sleeping right, and exercising is an important part of trading. If you're eating a lot of bad foods, I think your mind will be off. And I think you won't be able to trade properly. If you're not exercising, the levels in your brain, the dopamine and all that stuff won't be set right too. And you could have some issues. So I think you need to sleep, eat, and exercise if you want to trade. Brazil IRS creates penalty code for dishonest crypto taxpayers. See, what happens in one country will spread to others. So it's good that we hear this, you know. Brazil requires monthly filings for crypto activity. U.S. IRS extends blockchain exploration to crack down on crime. Brazil requires monthly filings for crypto activity. Failing to file a monthly report of crypto asset movement triggers revenue code 5720, default for crypto incorrect, delaying in reporting on transactions performed with crypto. Brazil introduced crypto regulation this August, and IRS claims it has received reports from $14 billion in transactions in the past few months. It's uncertain how that figure was reached and whether it's based on transfers alone or involves trading. The IRS requirement, however, may only involve transactions related to trading. Moving all actual coins is anonymous in most cases. When a coin is traded for fiat, however, a taxable event must be accounted. For instance, accounting for November trades must happen by the end of December. Based on local Bitcoin volumes, interest in Brazil is relatively stable. Local exchanges remain highly active, though the Brazilian real makes up about 0.03% of total Bitcoin trading globally. U.S. IRS extends blockchain exploration to crack down on crime. One of the biggest crackdowns on Bitcoin usage for 2019 happened in relation to the website Welcome to Video, a dark net offering underage content. That's horrible. With the help of chain analysis, the IRS and law enforcement managed to link Bitcoin addresses to accounts and real-world identities. Yeah, Bitcoin is very traceable. All they have to do is just keep seeing what IP address you have associated with that, with your wallet address, and they're going to know who owns what. It's pretty simple. By analyzing the blockchain and de-anonymizing Bitcoin transactions, the IRS CI special agents were able to identify hundreds of predators around the world, even though those users thought that they could remain anonymous. If they used Monero, probably would have been harder to trace them. And I'm not trying to help that cause. I'm just making a point that Monero is more private. See, I think this article... See, I'm at a standstill right now because I feel like... I should have access to privacy in my financial world. People shouldn't know everything I buy and everywhere and in the locations where I buy those things. I would like some sense of anonymity. We all know if I use my credit card right now, it's somewhere in a database, every single thing I've ever bought. And then they can put that into an algorithm and they can find out how my mind works. Like, your credit card actually can teach something about your mental well-being, you know? I wish I had more control over the information they take from me, right? They put me in a system where I let off a digital footprint at all times that they can collect and then use and monetize without even asking me. That's my issue. But I also don't want to see people like with these horrible websites and stuff using Monero and stuff to hide their transactions to do horrible things. There has to be a happy medium, you know. The IRS annual report details that the service has achieved a 91% conviction rate for crypto tax crimes in 2019 alone. This figure demonstrates the growing efforts of tax authorities to clamp down on crypto tax dodgers. Bitcoin ownership and trading is regulated in vastly different ways. For most countries, Recognizing a gain on the selling asset would be a reportable event. Rules differ on the time period of holding the asset. A US-based trader faced differentiated taxes for short-term and long-term Bitcoin investments. Right now, Bitcoin has added more than 90% to its price since the start of 2019, but may also incur a loss depending on the time of purchase and sale. I just feel like if you don't sell it, then, Bitcoin is going to be the Pied Piper for institutions, Kraken exec. One thing the financial crisis has changed in people's mentality is how important is liquidity. People value liquidity more in years gone than by, and the financial crisis really put a spotlight on that. Nelson Monier, the head of OTC trading at Kraken, said in the latest edition of the Bitcoin Knowledge podcast, Bitcoin's liquidity mainly depends on the increase in number of exchanges that facilitates trades in Bitcoin, brick and mortar stores accepting the asset. While the aforementioned factor ultimately boiled down to the Bitcoin adoption, regulatory climate also plays a crucial role in the term of liquidity. The thing about Bitcoin that I have to come to the conclusion is that the adoption is taking a lot longer than we all think. But when it happens, it'll be one of the things that no one saw coming, even though we have been talking about it forever. Yeah, like it's just boom, and we're like, oh, we're there, but it took forever. But a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. Ethereum drifting as Istanbul update closes. The next hard fork in Ethereum, Istanbul, is scheduled to go live this weekend, and the response from the market so far has been zilch. Ether has continued to meander mostly sideways on its Bitcoin pairing after having dropped sharply with Bitcoin on its USD pairing. We can begin with the daily Ether Bitcoin pairing chart. We see Ethereum is on its way to retesting a support band for the third time. 1, 2, 3. Actually broke through it now. But is that a buy zone there? I own Ethereum. And honestly, I don't get into the day-to-day of Ethereum trading. If you want to day trade Ethereum, that's fine with me. Just not something I'm specialized in, not something I like. I own 20 Ethereum, and I'll hold them for a long time. It was the first digital asset I ever bought in my life. Someone told me about it when it was about $9. I did not purchase it then, but I did purchase it about, I think, $175, and I sold it at $360. And that was my first trade in cryptocurrency. I basically doubled up in about a month and a half, and then I was like, maybe I should keep doing this. Bitcoin's dormant state can be a precursor to dramatic shifts analysis. As of now, there is no catalyst that could kindle a Bitcoin fire, but there could be dramatic shifts in the near future. According to the Flipside data analyst Eric Stone, Bitcoin remaining in limbo might be a sign of some dramatic shifts. The top cryptocurrency has been barely changing hands over the last 2 months, with volumes tanking across different exchanges. Only about 14% of the 18 million Bitcoin in circulation were changing hands last month, according to the Flipside data, where it represents a 50% decrease compared to October of 2018. Stonewall told the Wall Street Journal that this type of idling was akin to kindling. By using such a concept metaphor, he explains how easy this thing could light up. A lot of people are sitting at the moment, but that much Bitcoin sitting idle is like kindling, he suggests. It can be the precursor to dramatic shifts. The lion's share of all mined coins, about 9.1 million, hasn't been moved in more than 6 months, which might suggest that the majority of the market participants are in for the long haul. I don't move my Bitcoin at all. My Bitcoin's been sitting for 2 years, man. I don't touch it. All I do is send more in there, if I have the need. With markets mixed but mostly down, we're looking at Deutsche Bank's 2030 crypto call, the movement encouraging an annual run on Bitcoin banks, and Engine's Microsoft-fueled rally. Yeah, Engine, I was mentioned that earlier. Tune in as CoinDesk podcasts, A.B. Levine and Senior Marco. Oh, so this is a cool podcast that we could listen to. That did spark me, though. I'd like to see Deutsche Bank's 2030 crypto call. It's pretty interesting. Maybe I'll watch that podcast and add that to my stream tomorrow. India's central bank hints that cryptocurrencies will be banned. The government of India's central bank, the governor, Shatikanta Das, has restated that the Indian government is against private cryptocurrencies. This all comes ironically amid talks of India launching its own central bank digital currency, CBDC. India has been discussing cryptocurrencies and the regulations surrounding them for over a year, and overall taking a hardline stance. While no official law has been passed, the latest comments do indicate the steps the country might take. Officials from India's central bank and the Reserve Bank of India seem to be doubling down on their stance against cryptocurrencies. Now, up here it said private, though. There's a difference. We have privacy coins and coins that are just coins. Officials from the Indian Bank and the Reserve Bank are doubling down. They're taking place regarding the launch of the central bank digital currency. RBI Governor Shatikanta Das said on Thursday that there was no way private digital currencies could be allowed in India. The world over, central banks and governments are against private digital currency because currency issued in a sovereign function and it has to be done by the sovereign. It is very easy to speak on central bank issuing digital currencies. Some discussions are going on. Technology has not fully evolved yet. It is still in a very incipient stage of discussions, and the RBI we have examined it internally. And but they might not have access to the smartest people too. The smartest people may be making the digital tokens. Like, I don't know. I'd like to find out, like, the pool of people that are smart enough to run this, because we know it's a small amount compared to the world population. Like, is there 1 million people that can make a blockchain? It may be less, right? If you think about that, how many do they have working for them, and how many are making their own coins? I question their ability to compete with, the grassroots people like Cardano and, Vechain and stuff like that. Today I'm going to show you my portfolio, okay, and what percentage it has in the 24-hour change. So off topic yet again, but I ran my TA and we were pretty dang close. Just want to see your standpoint on XTZ. No, we'll get into that. I have like 2 more topics. They're very quick. And then thank you for staying the whole stream, dude. This is unbelievable. I really appreciate it. I have Cardano. It's a 26% share of my entire portfolio at the moment. This isn't a long-term. This is my short-term trading. I do have a whole nother slew of long-term holds that I just don't touch. When I feel the need, I send coins there. But this is right now what I'm doing at the moment. I have 26% in Cardano, currently up 1%. I own 16% in Tether, waiting for a good trade and a nice setup. Always be liquid, guys. Always have some liquid. I'm in Atom, currently up 16. I own 16% in my total portfolio, currently up 5.3%. I own Vechain at 16%, currently up 4%. I have Ethereum. It's 10% of my entire portfolio, currently down 6%. This actually is a long-term hold that ended up in here. It definitely has to leave, so I'm not really day trading that Ethereum. I have DLT. I have 9.4% of that, and that's currently at 1.7%. Hollow, 0.9, Bitcoin, and Edo. I have Icon, 1.5%. This is an old hold. I bought a lot of Icon a long time ago, and I'm just going to hold it and see what happens. I got Holochain, and I'll be honest, I put a very small amount into Holochain for what my portfolio has, 0.9%, but it's only 11 Satoshi. I think it can only go up. It's been flirting up and down. It hasn't ever really gone down. It's gone up to 13 back. It's been trading between 11 and 13. I think this could be a huge winner. Then we have Ren and Edo. You have given a lot of feedback and a great guy, so I have no problem spending my time watching a good stream and making sure they know I appreciate them. Dude, you have made my day, dude. Like I don't think you understand. Like you have given me confirmation to keep striving. Like, I got my first tip today. And, dude, Patrick, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like, shed a tear, man. Like this is my life. Okay? So, like, I take it so seriously, man. Like, again, gotta understand this. I love to harp on this. I should just show this on every stream. I think I should start every stream with that, just to make sure people understand they're being scammed. You know, look at these giant Bitcoin buys, dude. Big Bitcoin bees coming in there. I'm used to seeing just the little ones. It's funny. All right. Now, here's the part of the stream where we finish the news. We go back to our earlier calls because it's been an hour, you know, and we can see, you know, anything moved, anything shifted. So Bitcoin, you know, we were going high, right? We were at like 7,460, and now, all right. So we want to get into, you're welcome. I'll make sure to send a tissue through the tip box. Fuck you guy. Oh man. Yeah, right. I'm such a softie, right? Now, some of the strongest people can cry on camera, right? Some of the strongest men are willing to cry. I had this like huge guy. He was like a freaking Greek dude who was like 6'4", 250 pounds. He was like a Taibo dude. He was an actor in a movie with me, and he was just like, some of the strongest men can cry, you know? All right, enough with that. let's get into the request here. I trade XDZ a lot. I'm in and out of it. I've left it alone just for the last few days, but it's definitely worth talking about and checking out. So let's see here. Life for one. I have it on one of these charts. Which pair are you looking at? The USDT pair or the Bitcoin pair? Usually people say it's like Shia LaBeouf. Usually people say it is the Bitcoin pair. So we're gonna go with the Bitcoin pair right now. Bitcoin pair. So we're gonna delete all my other work. Okay. I'm gonna look at the 4 hour. Okay. I mean, already I see a pattern, right, playing out. Okay, so again, the first thing I do is I look at it. Let's go to like the 2 hour, just because it doesn't have as much history. So we're even going back to the 1 hour. Okay. So here we obviously have some support. Okay. Here we have some support. I hate when that happens. Here we have some support. Here we have some support. A little support. Some support there. Let's get up. Alright, yeah, we'll do both. We'll do both. I tend to trade a lot on the USDT pair because I'm trying to pay my rent. Okay. I have my Bitcoins that I have. I'm trying to pay me some rent. Okay. I'm cool with this. And then we obviously have heavy resistance right there. You can tell it's like why, right? There's a BART pattern right there. And a little bit of resistance right here too. Okay. I'm cool with that. It's all making sense. And then we can go down low and see if things don't work out where we would like to accumulate if possible, right? Then we also want to add a fib to this. Okay. All right. And then we're going to kind of open this up. Now, the one thing I did see immediately with my eye was my brain drew a triangle. Okay. I saw that immediately. I almost want to say like it popped out of this triangle and came back in like that was a fake breakout there. You know? That's how I look at it. You should, sometimes you want to just draw what you see. Let's just draw what we see, but because I draw these all the time, I tend to see some stuff. Like these were false breakouts, you know? Like but we'll go to them. We'll go to them. All right. So what we have is, I mean, kind of looks like a bilateral triangle, okay? Which means it could break either way, right? So we could go down and look right on my line and on a fib. It's pretty cool. So we could see ourselves go to 1465. Which is a 14% downside. But we could also break to the upside. Okay. Let's see what the MACD's looking like. MACD's been kind of doing some struggling. We ever see that before? Right here? It's like jumbled up in there. There's one. So we did have that massive move. Like, I mean, that was like some. This is the 1 hour though, so it does exaggerate a lot of stuff. It's just not a lot of data to go on this, so you kind of have to shrink your time frame. RSI is in a healthy place, right? You want to be above 40 really to be in a bull run for things to kind of start happening. And you can almost even show, you can run support lines on RSI too if you guys want, you know. So we got our support and resistance there. If we bounced off of that, it should come up. We got to break that line. And let's see. And not a lot, like we are having a bearish MACD cross coming here, but then we have a bullish MACD cross coming. It's like fighting. And I think the blue line is crossing. So I think we're going to have some movement in the in the bullish direction. All right. So we got that. Now let's just see the possible measured move, right, to the upside and where that stands. Straighten this pole. Okay, that is at 2033. Okay. We do really need to break this resistance here at 1909, 1900 area. That's going to be strong, you know. But if we break that, there's nothing, right? Like that will be a new all-time high, right? So what I do like about coins that are approaching all-time highs, like here in this run here, look, once we broke that resistance, boom, you know, we had all that movement. So there's a chance that this starts to happen here with XTZ. I mean, aggressive buy here on the bottom of the trend line. Look how we're holding the support right here. And we just saw that with Ravencoin, and then Ravencoin went up 30%. So I mean, you know, that I'm not saying speculate other coins with this coin. I just, you know, it's a thought. It's just a thought. So yeah, so let's just say you wanted to get into this 1750, okay? So you buy right now at 1751. That means 175 is a 10% loss. So you can lose 175 of this 750 here. So that's 605. So 1575 would be my stop. Okay. I like 1575. This is my stop based on position size. But then again, like it will change once you start looking at other things too. So if I were to buy here, I'd put a stop loss with a 10% loss. And again, I'm going to just keep doing this with you guys. But I'd only want to lose $100. Okay. And we want to divide that by 0.15. Again, my position could only be $666. Okay. What I like though is to put I would wait for this to break out of the triangle. I wouldn't buy it till it breaks out of this trend line, okay? Because breakouts are far easier and less risky. So looking at the consolidation after a nice jump up while back, it stabilized to me. I'm hoping to see a nice volume spike. And on the USD pair, I was calling a $1.80. Huh. So this is what I see here. I wish I could just switch this to the USD pair and all this work would stay, you know? So we're looking at a potential... And this is on the 1 hour. If we go to the 4 hour, the triangle will have some more upside. Honestly, though, we just need to break this support line. So basically, this is a trade. You wait for it to break out of this. So you put an alert around 1780, right? 1778, something in that area. And then you get your buy zone. Kind of buy in here. If it breaks out, like what we really want, this is what we want, textbook, right? We want this to break out, and we want it to come back down, and we want to buy right there in this area. And then we want to see it just kind of do its thing. Then we want to take 50% profit here, and then we want to close the trade here. And that's basically what I would do. You do what you would like, okay? Now, aggressive buy would be to buy inside the triangle, but I wouldn't buy my whole position now. I would buy 30% of my position, okay? My stop loss will be below this trend line. I'm comfortable with this. Oh, that's annoying. Like when they doesn't know what I'm trying to grab. Or I don't have to point around. That's why. So my stop loss. And do you guys use these? I love these little price things. Are great. Again, another reason why. So I would buy here and put my stop loss in the trend line. Okay. So I'd be risking 3.5%. That is it. Because if it doesn't come back into the trend line, and it could come back into the trend line and zoom up, whatever, but that's not my plan. My plan, if it goes back into this triangle, okay, then that invalidates my trade, and then I should get stopped out of that trade if that's the case. So, yeah. I'm actually now thinking of making a buy here today. I'm going to watch this and put an alert. And if it does what it does, then it's definitely something I'm going to take advantage of. It's definitely a good trade. Has a lot of people looking at it. Has good liquidity. So it could definitely make a move, right? Bring these back down because I remember I put these on the 1 hour, but they changed. Yeah. I published this to my trading group. Thanks, man. Let them know that I saw this. Someone else might see it, and then we discuss it. If you want to join the trading group that I'm a part of, it's Crypto Bitcoin Chris. Tell him that Crypto Lifer sent you. Crypto Revolution, man. Love this guy. He's been a mentor to me. He's been helping me out a lot. And yeah, this is him right here. Check him out. Crypto Bitcoin Chris. Let me show you what he looks like. Well, today he didn't put his face out. He almost always puts his face. And of course today, he doesn't have his face there. Look, I'll get you one where you can see what he looks like.
Into the market today, crypto.
There he is. That's my man right there. Jumping right into the market. But yo, he has an amazing group. It's taught me so much. Crypto Fiat Leak. So we're still going hard here. Wow. Now the Ruby. Yo, see the news I just read? India to ban cryptocurrency, right? Now all of a sudden the Ruby is flying out of control. This type of news could actually help. I mean, that was a Ruby, right? That was Indian currency going flying in there. We got some people now where Sweden buying some stuff. Got the Japanese won, but mainly it's all that USD. The USD, man. Look, 1.7 Bitcoin on Bitstamp right now. 0.71 Bitcoin, 2002, tons of little ones. 17 Bitcoin right there. That lucky guy just got to buy 17 Bitcoin. Nice guy. What a good dude. Thank you. Buy some more. Follow me on Twitter at CryptoLifer33. It'd be awesome. I put up polls, talk about things, just go over the facts, things that go on, and yeah, follow me up. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm holding in USDC at the moment to gain some interest. Then once the market goes to an upside move, that will be an obvious bull market. I'll flow it all in. Oh, so how much interest are you getting on the USDC? So I'm asking Patrick, how much interest, and do you feel safe? You know, like sometimes I'd rather just like keep it on my own wallet than anything else. You know, maybe you can do that. That'd be pretty cool. We're gonna do one last thing for Patrick, and we're gonna go over the USDT pair on XTC. See, as you can see, I've been all over this. Been watching it for days. There's a bunch of different things I've been talking about, but this is old. So let's delete it all. I haven't looked at it in a few days. So wow, we're in kind of isn't that crazy? The pattern is pretty different, right? Here we have an uptrend, a bounce back, and we're in basically a bilateral triangle, right? A symmetrical triangle. 1.25%, is that what you're saying? Hey, it's better than nothing, right? 555. What is it? What did that mean though? What is the 5.55? I don't understand. I do not understand. All right. Now, on this pair, it's a little different. Okay. I see a pattern I don't like to trade because it's bearish, which is like a rising wedge, just like a falling wedge. I would say that was a breakout and it came back in. Here's one idea, okay? It's in a falling wedge that should fall, right? Should break down from this pattern. But that's a 68% chance. There's still a 32% chance that we break to the upside. And if falling wedges break to the upside, they become parabolic, okay? So this is something to really watch, honestly. We are holding this trend line. Yeah. If If you don't believe me, I think I can show you FET. FET just had this similar pattern, and it went out of it completely. Crazy. What is this guy saying? I think that's old news. Yeah, November 12th. Okay, so something I could see happening there. Okay, so this is a potential, right? So we go back to $1, we go to 165. Somewhat, but not too long ago, I had 24K XRP stolen from my account. And when I reported it, they told me it came from my phone that was turned off at the time. Explain that to me. How did you? So one of my subscribers here, Patrick Gordon, he had 24K XRP, which at the time, I mean, so you're talking like that could be $6,000 USD. Okay, yeah, 5.5% on your okay. How did it get stolen? I really want to know, because I have videos on how to keep your cryptocurrency super safe, and I do things that almost no one I know else does, and I have a video that no one else said. What I do is I use a Trezor, okay? I use a Trezor, but what I do is I connect the Trezor in the back end security of my Gmail account, and I make it a FIDO key, okay? If you go into your security at Google, or whatever email you have, I hope they have good security, and you can add TFA, like two-factor authentication, but then it can say use a FIDO key. You'll see it there, and you can buy a FIDO key on Amazon for really not much money, and wow, dude, $12,000. And I plug this into my Gmail account, and honestly, I can't get into my Gmail account unless I click a physical button on here. So if I go places and I need to sign into my account and I forget this, I can't get into my email. And I also made a super complex password on my phone, and I actually called my phone company and I made them aware that they should contact me if anything weird is going on. So, because this is how people got hacked. So let me ask you, are you using a FIDO key on your email? Because if you're not, your email is not 100% secure. Because if they hack your phone, then they can get into your email. But if you do this, they can't, not even you can get into your email if you don't have this with you. So a lot of people think it's inconvenient. I make things inconvenient for myself because that makes it even more inconvenient for a hacker, okay? I used CoinSwap to transfer my Tron to XRP from TronScan to Coinbase. Within 3 hours of hitting my Coinbase, 3 transactions wiped it out. Wow, so someone... Interesting. I don't know if you'd ever like to come onto the channel, but I don't know much about TronScan, and I should. I know about the dApps. I tried to get into them, but I spent so much more time studying TA than trying to learn about Tron dApps. Dude, XRP is kind of moving. It's starting to kind of go with the flow with my double bottom and my falling wedge here that I drew. Wow. That's scary, man. I keep all funds that I really love on a Trezor. I have multiple hardware wallets in multiple locations. I also give different people parts of the passwords, so if I die, they have to come together. I've been watching Verge. It's just been holding 54 cents for days. And now it's at 54 Satoshis, I'm sorry. And now it's kind of flagging, right? I mean, it's a very horrible chart. Not a lot of liquidity, but to me, that's a flag. You know, like a weird... You see the double bottom there? You can barely see it, but it's there. It should play out to the W to the W. $66 is my target there for that. Just running that by you guys, just so you can think about it. That day, believe it or not, I made 500 into 12K in 45 minutes, all because of Moon Game and Dice Game on the Wink dApp. Are you serious? Are you serious? Yo, how? You see this guy's, this man made $500. He turned 500 in 12,000 in 45 minutes. I mean, I kind of want to make a video about that right now. Like if I put that as a title, couldn't do it again if you wanted to, huh? Went from 75K Tron to 600K, huh? All on an 18% win chance. Wow, you got hooked up on that wink. Damn, man. So money comes fast, and then it's kind of interesting how you made that money really fast, and then it got taken from you really fast. I believe you, Patrick. I believe you. People don't believe my stories, so I believe you 100%, man. I believe you 100%. I have to. That's nuts. I believe, man. You gotta believe. All right, guys. I got a lot going on today, and I super appreciate you spending the morning, the afternoon hours with me. Almost a 2-hour stream. You start at 1 o'clock. It's insane, right? Let me just finish this. Let's just finish this. So, dude, if this breaks out, it's gonna go parabolic. Okay, so. Oh, you could find a pattern, huh? Interesting. I hear you. So here, this could break out. And honestly, if it goes parabolic, we actually have to get my curve tool out for that. Because, right? How do you draw a curve? There's like 2 ways to draw a curve, right? But dude, this is what potentially could occur here. No lie. No effing lie. Gotta keep it clean for the kids. But I'm telling you, baby, keep your head up. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. So here. So we might do this. All right, let's just try to build a scenario. We could go to the top of the trend line, come back down. But then eventually, if we do break out of this, you're gonna see something like that. I mean, that's usually what occurs if you break out of a falling wedge like this. It's almost a bull pattern. Yeah. Crypto Don Juan, man, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, that thing could go. Damn, man. You guys are making me want to kind of make a buy right now at 131. Because if Bitcoin moves, this is going to move too. Yeah. Oh, we're coming back. Oh, that's a US dollar, not USDT, but we're doing good. Link. If Link goes below, if Link goes to 150, I'm going to buy it. But look at that retrace. Back up. I saw Loom at 230 and I really wanted to buy. I actually bought it at 240. And then when it went to 230, I got stopped out and I didn't want a revenge trade, but I knew that was the better position. You know, it's like I bought it a little early and then boom, look, from 230 to 280 would have made 50 Satoshi. There's a double bottom kind of in play there as well. But just here's my list, guys. If you want to just go over what I look at every day, this is like ARPA, XRP, XTZ. Yeah, but dude, pull the fib on what? I'm going to pull the fib on which one? Guys, I'm probably going to bounce out of here at about 3 o'clock at the latest. Maybe like 2:55. So this is going to be my last. But dude, this has got me thinking. I like when it's bottom of the trend line here. So let me just think out if I were going to take this trade, what I would do. Let me just see. We're sitting at 131 right now, okay? All right. Now, if I buy here, it's not too bad because if it comes back up and comes back down, I won't be down that much, you know, or at all. Probably come to my even Stevens, so this could be that line. Let me delete what I did and just go through what I always do, right? My support and resistance lines. I guess though, if I do see, if I shrink it down, there's so many arbitrary ways to look at this, but we could say that like we already, you know, because there's more touches this way. Come up here. There's 3 touches. 1, 2, 3. So that's beautiful. And there's 3 touches. I mean, this is like textbook beautiful pattern making right here. Making love to the patterns. Okay. Touch. So we could also say we're in a bilateral triangle that could break out either way, just like we were in the BTC pair. And I'm kind of judging this. Where did he get that line? I saw how wide this was. Yeah, it did pretty good without matching it, huh? Yeah, crypto, Dom1, pull the fib on which one? I'm not sure what you want me to pull the fib on. There's got to be a way just to duplicate this. Like duplicate a line. Probably just hold Alt and drag or something right off of it, right? Maybe you can go Control copy, Control paste. Dude, yes, look at that. You can copy paste. I don't want to go back and get another one. That's what we're looking at, guys. That's what we're looking at. Yeah. $156.97. 131. Get you a nice 20% because all you need is 13 cents. There you get almost, you know, you're going to get 26. You're going to get your exactly 20% gains here if you buy right now. And if Bitcoin goes down, it should go down. It could move on its own. This is good. The total market cap for the altcoins, I have it in this giant falling wedge. Okay. But we held support here in this line. Like we didn't come back down to the edge of the wedge. We kind of like the support line. This is key. I think we're going to get Bitcoin dominance to drop, and we're going to see some move in these altcoins. Also, you can choose clone from the toolbar. What up, DeLuca? My man. DeLuca lives. Love this guy. Careful buying at the top edge of a pennant. When you throw a comment, just let me know what you're talking about. XDZ or, you know. Yeah, no, of course. I don't like buying the top end of a pennant because the reason is it's going to come down here like this on you. And it's like you're setting yourself up to have to hold and be down 3% already from the very beginning, you know. I got you, James. I'm with you on that. No, you would buy the breakout. You would buy the breakout of this right now, you know. So your buy zone is right here, okay. What we are all looking for is the retest. We break out, we come back down, you buy the retest. Sometimes it doesn't retest, you know. So, Tezos, yeah. But yeah, man, we're looking prime for a breakout, you know. Yeah, I mean, you got the staking, like, you got a lot going on. So you got a lot of eyes on it. And, I don't know. This could break out. This is going to break out today or it's going to break down, right? In the next, you know, set your alerts for 135, 134, 133. And if we break that, yeah, this is definitely a valid trade. Let me show you how I would trade it with a $10,000 portfolio, only risking 1%, which keeps me able to stream every day and keeps me alive because I'm able to pay my rent while I trade. And because, you know, otherwise, like I'd probably, so like if I either leave YouTube, you'll know I blew up my account. If I stay on YouTube, you'll know I became a successful trader, you know? So it's like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to be very good with risk management because it's crucial that I stay in the game, man. It's about longevity, right? That's what we want here. I had no idea I would trade. Oh, man, like, and I got my first Brave tip as well. So to me, that's just like, I don't know. Like you can tip people with Brave, so just to let you guys know. So, okay. You buy here. So hopefully it goes up 136, comes back down 131, and you get lucky at 1. You can also set the buy right now. I mean, it is bold, but you could put the limit order in for 134 right now, and then just put a stop loss here at 129, and then just forget about it. Like, I can automate trades right now with 3 commas. You can set up take profit, you can set up stop loss, and then you can set up your buy. As long as they're all set for market order, they'll all go. If you set limits, you may not get your fill, and then you may not get in and out. So you make sure you do market. And it's sad because you may not get everything you want, or you may not pay the exact price, but you'll get the majority of the trade, and you won't do a damn thing. So you either come back and tomorrow and say, oh, I got stopped out, and I lost a very small amount of money, right? And this is why this is the safest trade you can make. The aggressive buy is here. This is the aggressive buy right on that line. Hold on, let me put a aggressive, right? So the aggressive buy, I may have 1G, I don't know. I should know. Sometimes my mind gets scattered when I'm doing this. But the aggressive buy here is here when it comes back to the bottom of the trend line, because you could be buying something that's actually invalidating. So you buy here and then you put your stop loss below this swing low right here. Okay. If you want to be really bold, you go here. But to me, that's risky. You're setting yourself up for a loss. Like, it's just not how you want to trade it. Again, you'll make more money. How much more though, right? Like, let's see. You're risking a lot just to gain this little 3% move here. It's just foolish. It's not smart. That doesn't make any sense. So honestly, I don't even like talking about the aggressive buy right now. I think that's kind of leading people to disaster, and that's not what I would want you to do. Let's see. Worst comes to worst, I get in at, it's 134. Put it at 134, right? And my stop loss is in here below the trend line at there's still a 4% loss. Okay. So again, we go back to dollars. I mean, we've done this a few times already, but why not, right? And I'm going to divide it by 0.045, which gives me a position of $2,200. And if we get our measured move, right, 20%, that's a $400 return, and I'm only risking $100. So that's a 4-to-1 ratio on risk reward. That's a good trade. It's a good setup. It makes sense. Okay. Let's see if we have any confluence. We do have the MACD trending up. We have the RSI trending up above in a bull market. 2 things are going for us. We have a good pattern. We know we have volume, and we have declining volume. This is a good sign. I see this a lot. Look, when we had declining volume here, got really low, and boom. Now we have declining volume here, we got really low. Boom. I'm actually going to put the buy in right now. I'm going to make this trade actually, just so you guys know. I'm going to automate it. I'm going to set a market order at 134. I'm going to set a take profit. I'm going to set 2 take profits, one at 146, one at 156, right? Actually, you know what? I'll set my profit a little bit below because I want to get my money before everybody else does, see? So these will be how I'll take profit. I'll take profit at 146 and 152. If it keeps going, I'll buy the retrace. And if I lose, if I don't get as much gains as I could, whatever, I'll be happy. So looks like I'll get 16%. So not as much before when we were at what? About 20. So I'm chopping off about a fifth, and we are at 444, 590. So we're looking at like a 360 win rate, but that's fine. 360, and I'm only risking $100. It's a 3-to-1 risk reward. Yeah, so you could automate this trade right now. Make sure you catch it when it breaks out, and then set your stop loss. It could go out, wick down, and then keep going. I've seen that happen, and I'm just going to end up losing money. This is why it's called trading. It's not called printing money. But, I mean, it is what it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Any last coins before I go? I'll just wait like a minute here after I ask the question. Is anything else you guys want to go over, talk about, look at? Don't forget about Wabi. A little Wabi in a nice uptrend. Look at it. Just doing its thing. Coming back to the trend line. Just saying, you know. Really, Verge, man. I thought Verge was dead, but like these rounded bottoms, what they do is this. Just like so much to go over. No, I'm telling you a market order. I'm telling you exactly a market order because your limit order will not get filled, James. You'll sit there and you'll set it, and there's a chance where you get back and you'll get, I've seen this happen. It will go through your order and you won't get the order. You'll get like 80%, 7%. I've been not filled at all. It's happened. I've been filled, been not filled. So, and then you could set a limit order and it may not go. I've been using market orders in all of my take profits. Like I'm sleeping in the middle of the night. I wake up and yeah, it may go to 157 and you sell at 155. But sometimes it spreads on a market order. You get 157. You might get 154. You might get 156. You get a cumulative grouping of all of them. So no, I'm saying market for a reason. Like I know exactly why I'm saying that. But yeah, I mean maybe on a buy. You're right though. I've never projected a market buy. Yeah, but you don't. Honestly, on all my 3 commas, it has to be a market take profit because I'm not gonna wake up and find out I didn't get paid. Okay, when I use market, I get paid every time. And yeah, you might lose a percentage here and there, but the point is that you made your 10, 12, 15%, Okay, Matic. I mean, Matic, I've been in Matic for a long time. I sold at 375. Oh, well, right? But me and you were in Matic, James, for a long time. I've actually held that buy. Remember that day we went in? I held that buy, that 175 Satoshi buy. We both went in. I was down for a long time. I held it for over a month and a half. And boy, was I happy that I did, right? Where are you, Matic? You should be in here. Well, let's add it. You want Matic BTC? Wow, like that's parabolic, dude. And that's, see when I showed you that see the rising wedge that we have going on right now with XTZ? So this is what I'm trying to say. This is what happens when you break out of these, Could have kind of even made it like a widening wedge. I read this on Bukowski. He said up, down, up, whatever. Okay. It's almost like a hard chart to check on. But Jesus Christ, this thing it went to 500. See, I wasn't even watching it today. Look at this. I've been streaming. It's gone up. Oh my God. Matic. And look at it bouncing off the 21-day moving average. Like it wants more. My God. Like I honestly don't know how to chart something that's doing this because it just, like there's not a lot of history, right? Are we at all-time highs yet? See it on the daily. Wow, look at that. A perfect bull? So weird, man. I follow Alan Masters. If you're not following him, you got to check him out, man. Like, the guy's he's a savant as far as I'm concerned. Matic Network is trading around an ascending channel and gaining momentum to the upside. The chart for Matic is completely bullish, but a retrace might be coming up next. We can see Matic is reaching an upper side of the channel as well as bearish divergence showing up in the MACD and RSI. What do you say this? This was a week ago. Boy, was he wrong. I mean, he was just saying normally you do see a retrace, but we did not retrace at all. I'm not saying everything he says is right, but he's definitely worth checking out. He has a lot of good knowledge. All right, so where's support and resistance? Break it down easily. White line. Got a white line. We hit that. We hit that. And then our old line. You could say we got rejected up here. I don't really know. So Matic basically is on its way to just making its own destiny, right? There's no more support and resistance. Like, look, it can do whatever it wants at this point at 523 Satoshi. I was in at 175, sold at 375, and then just felt like every minute it wasn't worth getting back into, right? Like you as a trader, you tell yourself, I'm not going to buy these upward trend movements like this. We're really hard on the RSI, guys, on the daily, right? So this trend we're overbought. We're overbought, like clearly overbought. Like when's in its lifetime, 1, 2, 3. So it's coming. A retracement is coming, a big one. The idea is what will happen and how, right? So what do we come? We come back into the golden pocket, back into the 300 range, right? It's like I wouldn't touch Matic until it comes back into the 300 range. Or it starts doing something crazy But that RSI is just too high for me. Okay, this line is gonna curve. Like when it look like it's to me, it can't keep going up. It's overbought. So the buyers are gonna run out of steam. People are gonna take their money, and yeah. But damn, man, I should have been trading Matic today. Sucks, man. I wish we could just jump in. I made a very risky trade last week. I got into data when it was doing something like this in the middle of the night, and I made 30% in like 10 minutes, and I put like 3K on it. So, but I don't advise anyone do that. And my heart was racing, and it was like the craziest shit I ever did. And that's normally not what I do. I did have a tight stop loss. I got lucky. I didn't risk a lot, but at the same time, it just like I got lucky. Like. But I saw it move, and I kept drawing flags on the 1 minute. I kind of would love to bring people through that trade. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. When stocks are going parabolic like this, I have to look at them literally in the 5 minute. I know, and most people say you're out of your mind, but that's how I traded data on my own. Like, I learned a lot of this stuff on my own. I know everyone says, I cross-reference what experts tell me, and I have a few mentors. But, dude, when you do it every day, all the time, you learn stuff, right? So, like, if we look at the 5 minute, yeah, it was insane. Yeah, I'm glad it worked too, James. Won't do that again. But, there's a double bottom, which should play out. And this is very small time frames. But that is a double bottom. We should see this do this. We should just get up to it. And that's only 3 Satoshis, not even worth looking at. But you can see, though, that we flagged here. We broke out. Now we're in a down. We're in that falling wedge now, actually, right? We're in this channel now. Broadening. Yeah. I think that's, so if you can see, a lot of times downtrends begin on the 5 minute. And then they start pouring in, right? Now you look at the 5. Now you look at the 30, right? See this? Now the 1 hour. Now you start getting a picture, okay? Then the 2 hour. And the 4 hour, okay? And you start seeing things for really, really what they are, okay? And this could flag and then break out again. So I'd look for either consolidation at that line of support that it's creating, and which is basically that last, we have to get really we have to shrink out here, but this is it. Apparently this is its line, like this 540 line here, something about it hit it over here, and this big line here at 575. So for some reason people just felt like this is the place to take profits, right? So I don't know if we break through here or not. It depends. But guys, I got my wife calling. Got to pick up the phone for her. But I love you so much. Anyone that loves crypto, anyone that does crypto, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Please comment, like, and subscribe. One last thing, let me just check my current positions while I'm with you guys. Bam! Look. We're in the money now on DLT, okay? We just had a move. I'm trying to get one of these, okay? Yeah, that's my trade for the day is DLT, and it's on the low. Not many people are trading this right now. I'm not saying it has low liquidity, but this is just my move right now. But yeah. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. You can find out when I post my next video. And remember, crypto is life.